Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take on your family, your business, can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. I love to celebrate. Today is National Cheese Ball Day. Now, it's funny because I was listening and chatting with some folks earlier today, and you heard somebody said, what do you think of when you think of cheese ball? And I thought it was pretty simple. And obviously, I'm on the exact same page as Josh here because he has this graphic. You know, it's a ball of cheese with the nuts on the outside, appetizer. They were thinking of like a cheese puff. Well, that would be called a cheese puff day, not a cheese ball day. And there's no cheese in cheese puffs, I don't think. Okay, but cheese balls, I like that one. And today is National Crawfish Day. Now, maybe it's just me, but I don't know. I like most seafoods. I like most fishes, but I'm not a big fan if I have to work for it twice. You see, the way I look at it is like you, I go to work every day. You work hard and make a buck here and there, maybe a half a buck sometimes, we hope. And then all of a sudden, you go to a restaurant, you look at the crawfish, you got to get it out of the shell. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I look at shrimp. If it's deveined and shelled, it's good. If I have to get it out of the shell, that's work. Not for me. I just maybe it's me, but let's go back to Cheese Ball Day, and maybe we'll have to look at some of the others. Because with the holidays and everything, we're not going to really talk too much about other celebrations. Is there anything that we should be looking at coming in the next few days? Animal Cracker Day. I don't know about that one. We'll stay away from that. We'll look at auction. Oh, wait. We gotta slow down right here. We've got to stop. Josh, we're gonna have to look at this for Saturday. I don't know how we missed. We need National Garlic Day. Garlic. How could you go wrong with garlic? There's never enough garlic in certain foods. And National Amaretto Day. Both of those on Saturday. Hanging out. I don't know what that means. I have to be careful of that one. Also today, and I'm going to share this because I can. The third Thursday of every quarter is known as Know Your Clients Day. And we talk about that a lot on Ron Siegel Radio, and with our private clients, we're chatting with them about that all the time. Because how can you not know your clients? There's a lot of areas where, in the financial world, a lot of places it's set it and forget it, get it and leave it, forget it. Well, something, how can you want to have a relationship with somebody, especially when we're dealing with finances, and not be talking to them on a regular basis, not know what's going on in their world? Just doesn't work. So the third Thursday of every quarter, Know your client's day. Know your customer day. Okay, let's move right along. I'm not sure how many people worry about that one. Maybe it's not worry, is probably not the right term, but think about it at all. But let's take a look and see what's going on in the markets today. Do we want to see what's going on in the markets today? It's about normal. Now we're seeing the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 480 points. S&P 500 is up 22. NASDAQ is down 5. Oil's up $1.92 a barrel. Still dealing with all the tariff talk. We're looking at gasoline prices, $4.85 a gallon here in the formerly Golden State. Instead of our governor worried about everything that the president does, maybe he can worry about some of the things that are in California that he can control. Like gasoline prices being the highest in the nation. We wouldn't have to worry so much about tariffs if he would bring our gas prices down 25% just to match the rest of the country. Think about that. $3.17 a gallon is the national average. $4.85 is the price here in California. It's enough to just drive you crazy when you realize it's self-induced pain. Josh, you're heading to California. Get ready for that sticker shock, man. You'll probably have a Tesla. Oh, you're flying. Okay. Yeah, but you know something? You're not gonna have a lot of fun if you're just staying at the airport. And if you leave the airport, then you got to be driving somewhere somehow. So, $4.85 a gallon here and I know right by the airport, you're probably over $5 a gallon right there. And it doesn't matter what airport you're going to. So if you're traveling this weekend, be ready for higher gas prices. If you're anywhere in the formerly Golden State. Tariff talk, still the talk of the town. We're watching that for you. Looks like more and more countries are wanting to get into a discussion with the United States about how do we get more fair trade? Wasn't that the entire goal of the president, was to get fair trade for the United States? And I know that there's a lot of people that don't want to do anything that helps the country, Gavin Newsom, because all he cares about, think about this. I watched yesterday, and if you watch the news, you saw this. So Gavin Newsom, the genius that he is, where does he go to talk about the tariffs and how it's affecting California? He goes to the farmers. Now, who has done more damage in America to farmers than Gavin Newsom? You see, because one thing that every farm needs that Gavin Newsom hurts us on is water. When was the last time you drove up Highway 5? And I'm in Orange County. So if you go up Highway 5 over the Grapevine, go into the valley out there, and you see on both sides of the freeway, you'll see the signs that say sand, something to the effect of government-forced sand dunes. It's basically saying that if the government didn't shut off the water, the farmers would be able to build more or grow more crops. Thank you, Gavin Newsom. We appreciate that. You didn't mention that in your lawsuit against the president. Didn't go to now. If you would have gone to the port of Long Beach or the port of Los Angeles, now that would have made more sense because tariffs do affect what's going on at the ports, right? They're going to have to. There's going to be, for at least a period of time, a shrinkage of the amount of imports coming into the country, exports going out of the country. That's affected at the port. That's what tariffs deal with. Turn on the water, Gavin. It might help. Oh, yeah. And DWP getting sued because there was the reservoir up outside of the Palisades empty. Hello, Gavin. Are you listening to that one too? Why are they suing DWP instead of Gavin Newsom in the state of California? Wonder about that. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, pre-approval isn't commitment, it's clarity. And we've got the certified program. We're going to talk to you about the certified program. We'll talk about that today. Do you think the housing market's about to crash? We'll talk about that. And why a living trust could be the missing piece in your estate strategy. All that and more. Reach me anytime off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452. You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And every day at this time, OBMMI. They provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They do not tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They only tell us the number you put in your mortgage calculator to figure out what your monthly principal and interest payment will be. If you don't have a mortgage calculator, go get it. It's free. rsrlinks.com/mobile app. rsrlinks.com/mobile app. What did rates do yesterday? Conventional 30-year fixed 6.774. That was down. Jumbo 30-year fixed 6.916. That was down. FHA 30-year fixed 6.513. That was up. VA 30-year fixed 6.377. That was down. USDA 30-year fixed 6.495. That was up. Each and every business day morning, as early as the data allows, we put out a report. You can get it for free. It's our thoughts on the market for the day. rsrlinks.com/market minute. rsrlinks.com/market minute. Let's see what's going on with the markets right now. So the Dow right now is down 457 points. The screen is not refreshing, so I can't tell you what the bonds are doing, but I'm going to go over to another screen, and it tells me that the 10-year Treasury, oh, what do you know? That one's refreshing right this second as we speak. So the 10-year Treasury is at 4.309. That is up about 3 basis points. The mortgage bond is down 5 basis points. When the bond goes down, the rates go up. 5 basis points means there's not a whole lot of movement at all. Why is all this happening? Well, that's what you need to listen to our program for, or get our Market Minute report for, because that's what we tell you the part that's not on Google.com. So yesterday we got a report from Fed Chair Powell.
Such an idiot. Such an idiot.
He, according to him yesterday, explained that they may be put in a very tough position where the unemployment rate is rising, inflation is rising, and the economy is slowing down. Well, it's because you haven't done anything, Powell. You're just sitting there on your hands. You're late to everything. You're late when we had the inflation in 21. You were late when we had the opportunity to help the market and raise rates. You were late when we started needing the help in reducing rates a little bit. You were late, and you're late right now too. He sounded pretty hawkish in his speech and signaled that inflation is more important than the labor by stating, without price stability, we cannot achieve the long periods of strong labor market conditions that benefit all Americans. Okay, well, if we got this economy that's slowing down, businesses are not hiring, what do you think that's going to do? Of course, it's not going to help inflation. What is inflation? It's too much money chasing too few goods. Unemployed people don't spend a lot of money. And the goods that are coming in from China, Okay, so a lot of that is discretionary spending. We need to eat. That's not discretionary. Many of us want to live indoors. Okay, that's not discretionary. Getting a new pair of shorts, getting a new shirt, wear the old ones. Go to Walmart instead of Target. Go to Target instead of Nordstrom. Got a clue, Fed Chair Powell? Now, here's the problem. He's an attorney. Not that I say that it's bad to be an attorney, because we have a lot of clients that are attorneys. But here's the issue. He's not an economist. He's looking and saying, okay, I'll wait until the data tells me what to do. Well, by the time the data tells you what to do, it's too late, because you can't turn a cruise ship on a dime. You have to have forecasts. You have to see, oh, what do you know? We see that the economy is starting to slow down. If you would subscribe to Danielle DiMartino Booth, I do. I pay for the subscription. She gives you every type of research that you need to show exactly what's going on and where the forecast is. She actually is an economist that worked for the Federal Reserve and knows what's going on. Read her articles every single morning. If you can't read the whole thing, again, do what I do. I put it into ChatGPT. It gives me a breakdown of what the article is all about. It gives me a summary of it, and I'm able to share that information with you. Pretty simple. Now, you go and you look at some of these things, and you just start saying, okay, we look at the consumer sentiment reports, and we look at the other information. It's really simple that we see that the market is slowing down. It doesn't take rocket science here, Powell. You just have to have your eyes open.
Such an idiot. Such an idiot.
So obviously now you take a look, and he denied that the Fed would be there to help the stock market. Okay, I don't care about the stock market. It's helped the people. But if things got bad enough, he may change his tune, potentially adding some pressure to our Fed to cut as the ECB. Oh, what do you know? The European the Bank in Europe, they cut their rates 25 basis points this morning. This is helping the dollar get a little bit of a bid so far. In response to Powell's comments, Trump posted on Truth Social, Powell's termination, which is May of 2026, cannot come soon enough. Let's look at some more data. The National Association of Home Builders Sentiment Index rose 1.40. Here's a deeper breakdown. Current sales conditions rose 2 points to 45. Sales expectations fell 4 points to 43. Anything under 50 is contraction. Remember that. Buyer traffic rose 1 point to 25. Well, this report rose slightly overall. Confidence is weak. B, they're going to be more hesitant. Additionally, with stocks moving lower, there's negative wealth effect taking place. The stock market, Powell, what do you think about that one? The negative wealth effect affects the housing market. Housing permits, those rose, but maybe they won't even start building those properties. Bottom line, more demand than supply should be supportive of home prices into the future. Wow, didn't we tell you that before? That home prices rise in a recession, interest rates drop in a recession, although Powell may not want to see that happen. Initial jobless claims measures individuals filing for unemployment benefits for the very first time, fell 9,000 to 215,000. Continuing claims of those who continue to receive benefits after their initial claim rose 41,000 to 1.885 million. Continuing claims remains elevated and at some of the highest levels since 2021, showing once you are let go, there is less hiring happening and it's harder to find a job. Wow, I wonder if Powell read those reports even. If you think that I don't like Powell,
Such an idiot.
let me clear up the myth.
Idiot. Such an idiot.
We've said the same thing over and over again for a long time. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So let's chat a little bit about some of these tariffs and what they mean for your portfolio. Goes back to, again, and I didn't even have this on my rundown for this morning, but it goes back to one of the same conversations we've had over and over again about when I spoke earlier about know your customer. Well, know your plan. That's the important part. Know your plan. What is your plan? Are you planning on retiring tomorrow? If not, the stock market being down is a good thing for you because you have a couple of options. If you're invested in a 401k and your 401k managers are watching these things, well, then the likelihood is they're investing money. When you get paid each week or each month or however you get paid, there's money that's going into your 401k, your IRA. Now, those of you that have listened to me for years and years, I am not a fan of IRAs. I am not a fan of 401ks because those are geared for you to pay more taxes, especially if you're young and healthy. Give me a call at 800-306-1990. I'll put you in touch with one of our folks that helps people build wealth with life insurance policies. Now, why would I say use the life insurance policy? You want a low death benefit and a high cash value. Why? Because the goal here is to take your money as you can right now, when it's a smaller amount, put it into the life insurance policy, let it grow, and then borrow from the life insurance policy. Now, I'm not giving you tax advice, but when you borrow on a home, you're borrowing against your equity. That's not income, that's a loan. When you borrow against your life insurance policy, that's a loan. So you can go through your retirement years borrowing against your life insurance policy. Now, when you take money out of your IRA or 401k, you haven't been taxed on that yet. So that's taxable income. When you may want to be looking and seeing if it makes sense, put the money in a Roth IRA if you really have to have the IRA letters after your retirement plan. But life insurance might be a much better solution for you and your family over the long term. When you pass on, the death benefit pays the loan back. A lot of benefits in that. So think about that concept. You're borrowing from yourself. There's a lot of benefits there. You got to look at that. And if you're not having these conversations, then your financial people don't know their customer. And I'll ask you this one, and Josh, we're going to have to put this into some other play here somewhere. Who do you trust? Pretty simple. Ron Siegel Radio, we are that person for you. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, pre-approval isn't commitment, it's clarity. Why a living trust could be the missing piece in your estate strategy, and the certified program with Ron Siegel Radio, the certified buying process. Reach me anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com. rsrmoney.com. Pre-approval isn't commitment, it's clarity. If buying a home is on your radar, even if it's more of a someday plan than a right now plan, getting pre-approved early is still one of the smartest moves you can make. Why? Because like anything in life, the right prep work makes things clearer. The best time to get serious about buying is before you're ready to buy. Here's why. Pre-approval helps you understand your numbers. One of the biggest benefits of pre-approval is how it helps you understand your buying power. As part of the pre-approval process, a lender will walk through your finances and tell you what you can borrow based on your income, debt, credit score, and more. The number is power. Want to know about your credit and debt levels, or at least what lenders are looking at? Simple. rsrlinks.com/Sora. rsrlinks.com/Sora. SORA. Once you have that clarity, you're no longer guessing. You know what you're working with, and that gives you the information you need to be able to plan ahead. That way, you're not falling in love with homes that are outside of your price range or missing out on ones that aren't. Pre-approval helps you move quickly when you're ready. You don't have to be ready to buy a house. You don't have to be ready to buy to be ready to buy. It happens all the time. Someone scrolls through listings just for fun, and then bam. They fall in love with something they see online, but the time they scramble to connect with an agent and then get pre-approved with a lender, someone else beats them to it, and they lose the home. And you don't want that to happen to you. While you can't control when the right home shows up, you can be ready for it. Pre-approval isn't about jumping the gun or rushing into your timeline. It's about making sure you're ready when it's time to go. As Experian explains, quote, waiting too long to get a pre-approval, however, could leave you at a disadvantage. You could find the perfect home, but another buyer could snatch it up while you're waiting for the lender to review your pre-approval application. Getting a pre-approval just before you begin actively looking at homes may be your best option, unquote. Instead of rushing to figure out your numbers, trying to get documentation for your home loan together, and watching the house you love slip away while you wait to hear from your lender, you're already in the game. It's like showing up to the starting line with your shoes tied and your warm-up done while everyone else is still looking for parking. But pre-approvals do have an expiration date, so be sure to ask your lender how long it's good for. Bankrate offers this insight, quote, many mortgage pre-approvals are valid for 90 days, though some lenders will only authorize a 30 to 60-day pre-approval. If your pre-approval expires, getting it renewed can be as simple as your lender rechecking your credit and finances to ensure there have been no major changes to your situation since the first time round, unquote. The thing is, if you've been pre-approved, even if you're just thinking about casually looking, you have a much better sense of how to navigate your home search within your budget. Plus, you'll be ready for if the perfect home comes along. So why not make it happen? Bottom line, getting pre-approved doesn't mean you have to buy a house today, but it does mean you'll know what you're working with when the right one shows up. If you want to get pre-approved, connect with us to get that process started. In the meantime, let's have a conversation about what's on your mind and what you're looking for. If the perfect house popped up tomorrow, would you be ready to make a move? Yeah, give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. We'll make sure that you're ready to make that move because we've got this certified buyer process. That's the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Borrow Smart segment brought to you by gethomeselect.com, gethomeselect.com. So let's chat about the certified buyer process. There is a certified buyer process that we have. We work people through it all the time. And it's a multi-step process. So we start off, but it's appropriate today, being that today, as we record this, is the third Thursday of the quarter. Know your client. Certified buyer process is understanding the needs, providing loan options, and setting financial expectations. It's the consultation. Complete the loan application, provide the necessary documents, and you're going to get a custom loan plan built for you. Clear payment and loan options, and steps to get approved fast. 48 hours for the pre-approval, probably another 48 hours to get the certified approval. That's basically where we go through and do a little more. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. Step 2, the certified buyer approval. What you do, review your approval details and receive your certified buyer pass. What do? We provide you with a custom presentation explaining your approval and the next steps. A pre-approval letter. It's a PDF for agents and sellers. Your certified buyer pass. This is unique. I don't know anybody else that's doing this. And I talk to a lot of lenders and I talk to a lot of realtors. How about the certified buyer pass saved in your Apple wallet for easy access? Or I think the Android has a wallet as well. What this means, you're officially ready to start touring homes. That is step 2. The certified buyer pass. What you do? Go to open houses and private showings with your certified buyer pass. What do? Ensure you have your certified buyer pass to show listing agents, your pre-approval, pre-underwrite letter, PDF stored inside and available anytime. And we've got a short video from me for the listing agent at the open house. What this means, sellers and agents see you as a serious, well-qualified buyer. Now, what's next? The certified buyer offer. What you do, discuss your offer strategy with your agent and me, because maybe you want to get a lower interest rate. Maybe you want to talk about buy down programs. What do? Generate your digital offer for the specific property. I'm sorry, that's what we do, is generate your digital offer for the specific property. Include a custom video from me explaining your strong financial position to sellers. Provide an updated pre-approval letter and contact information for all parties. What this means, your offer stands out with trusted lender approval, giving sellers confidence. Now, what is the next step after that? The certified homeowner. Whoa. We're not just going to throw you out with the closed transaction. No. You own the property. It's not set it, forget it. What do? We monitor that property on a regular basis. We're going to send you a monthly report with valuation data. We're going to do a mortgage review with you. And we're going to monitor the value or the benefits that you're getting from your loan to see if they could be improved for you. Maybe there's a way to save 5% of your payment. Think about that. You've got a $4,000 a month payment. 5% of $4,000 is $200 a month. Think about that, $200 a month. And if we go there, that's about $200 a month, 360 months. Is that about $72,000 over the course of your loan? Could we benefit you? Can we save 5% a month? Can we save 3 years on the duration? Can we do it all for free? Well, we're going to be watching and monitoring that at all times for you to see if that makes sense for you. It's just part of the process. So when you get into our process, we're always looking for ways to help you because we are certified liability advisors. Our goal is to help you build wealth through strategic debt management. That's the Borrow Smart segment brought to you by GetHomeselect.com. GetHomeselect.com. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, do you think the housing market's about to crash? We're going to talk about it. And we're going to also talk why a living trust could be the missing piece in your estate strategy. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by GetHomeSelect.com. GetHomeSelect.com. Get that Home Select loan. Save interest expense. I get so frustrated listening to people talk about interest rates when it's interest expense that's important. Why a living trust could be the missing piece in your estate strategy. As we work toward retirement, many of us start asking some of life's more serious questions. What happens to my home if something happens to me? How do I make life easier for my family? And perhaps most importantly, how can I maintain control of my assets while ensuring a smooth transfer to my loved ones? That's where a living trust enters the conversation. Now, don't worry. I know the terms like trust and estate strategy can sound like they're only for the ultra wealthy, but stick with me. If you own a home, have loved ones, or simply want peace of mind as you approach retirement, a living trust may offer something invaluable. Control and clarity. Let's break it down. Simple, clear, and right to the point. What is a living trust? Living trust is a legal document you create while you're alive. Think of it like a box. You decide what goes in the box, your home, bank accounts, even investment accounts. While you're alive and well, you're the one holding the box, the trustee. You can take assets out, add to it, and manage it however you choose. And here's the real power. When you're no longer here, that same box, those assets go directly to the people you've chosen without court involvement. That's right, no probate. So why consider a living trust? There are a few key benefits. Avoid probate. Probate is the legal process of distributing your estate, and it can take months or even years. It's public, it's costly, and it's stressful for loved ones. A living trust keeps it private and efficient. Maintain control while you're alive. If you were to become mentally or physically incapacitated, a living trust allows a trusted person to manage your affairs without going to court. Easier to update than you think. You can change your trust at any time, change the terms, the beneficiaries, even shut it down if needed. Avoid will contests. Wills can be challenged. Trusts, much harder. This can reduce family conflicts during an already emotional time. And if you're married or have adult children, it's one of the most thoughtful gifts you can give, the gift of clarity and a plan. What are the drawbacks? Let's be honest. Living trusts aren't a magic wand. They don't protect your assets from creditors. If sued or owe money, a living trust won't shield you. They don't qualify you for Medicaid. Assets inside the trust still count against you. There's a cost. It may cost more to set up a trust than a traditional will, and not all assets are easily transferred. Like your car, transferring ownership may affect your insurance eligibility. No tax savings, and a revocable living trust doesn't reduce income or estate taxes. If that's your goal, we need to explore other advanced tools. Who should consider a living trust? Let me ask you a few questions. Do you own real estate in California or another state where probate is slow and costly? Do you have a blended family? Do you want to avoid family drama over your estate? Do you want to prepare for the possibility of incapacity while maintaining control? If you answered yes to any of these, it might be time to take a closer look. Now, for my clients here in California, especially homeowners, avoiding probate can save tens of thousands of dollars and months of heartache. And for couples who may eventually need long-term care planning, the trust structure can help coordinate that conversation. Let's tie this to retirement planning. As you move toward retirement, your focus may shift from income accumulation to asset protection and distribution. You've worked hard for what you've built. The last thing you want is for a judge or a drawn-out legal process to decide what happens to your assets, or worse, leave your family with a mess. This isn't just about having a plan when you're gone. It's about having a plan when you're alive. To protect you if life takes a turn and to ensure your legacy is passed on with care and precision. Bottom line, a living trust isn't a one-size-fits-all solution, but for many of my listeners, especially those entering the pre-retirement window, it could be one of the smartest ways to gain peace of mind. And while it won't protect you from taxes or lawsuits, it can absolutely protect your family from unnecessary stress and delays. I always say it's not just about how much you have, it's about how well it's managed, and that includes your liabilities. What's next if you're thinking, Ron, I've got debt, equity in my home, and maybe a plan for retirement, but no trust. What should I do? Here's what I recommend. Let's talk. As a Certified Liability Advisor, CLA, I help families build wealth through strategic debt management, and we'll look at your full financial picture, not just the assets, but also the liabilities, because your financial future isn't built on guesswork. It's built on strategy. If you want to set up a strategy call, visit rsrlinks.com/bookrs30 to schedule a 30-minute session with me. Let's see if a living trust fits into your retirement game plan. Final thought. Well, before I get to the final thought, let me remind you, we don't give legal advice on Ron Siegel Radio. We don't give financial advice. We give liability advice. Financial advice comes from financial planners who are licensed to give it. Legal advice comes from attorneys who are licensed to give that advice. Final thought, when it comes to your family's future, hope is not a strategy. A living trust paired with smart liability planning just might be the missing piece that brings it all together. That's the Borrow Smart segment, brought to you by GetHomeselect.com. GetHomeselect.com. Real-time real estate segment today, brought to you by rsrmoney.com. rsrmoney.com. Do you think the housing market's about to crash? Listen to this first. Lately, it feels like a lot of people have been asking the same question. Is the housing market about to crash? If you've been scrolling through social media or watching the news, you might have seen some pretty scary headlines yourself. That's why it's no surprise that according to data from Clever Real Estate, 70% of Americans are worried about a housing crash in 2025. But before you hit pause on your plans to buy or sell a home, take a deep breath. The truth is, the housing market isn't about to crash. It's just shifting. And that shift actually works in your favor. Today's inventory keeps the housing market from crashing. Mark Fleming, chief economist at First American, says, quote, there's just generally not enough supply. There are more people than housing inventory. It's Econ 101, unquote. Think about it. If there's a shortage of something like tickets to a popular concert, prices go up. That's what's been happening with homes. We still have a shortage of supply, too many buyers, and not enough homes push prices higher. Check out the white line for 2025 in the graph that we are showing right now. Even though the number of homes for sale is climbing, data from Realtor.com shows we're still well below normal levels. And again, if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, the ABC, News and Talk, AM 1490 or FM 98.1 video feed, you are seeing the chart. That ongoing low supply is what's stopping home prices from dropping at the national level. As Lawrence Yun, chief economist at National Association of Realtors, NAR, says, quote, if there's a shortage, prices simply cannot crash, unquote. More homes for sale means price growth is easing. And as more homes become available, that takes some of the intense upward pressure off home price growth, leading to healthier price appreciation. Now, don't forget, if you want to find out just your zip code, you can get that information on how many houses are for sale and what the market looks like. rsrlinks.com/market report. rsrlinks.com/market report. So while prices aren't falling nationally, growing inventory means they also aren't rising as fast as they were. What we're seeing now is a price moderation. Now, notice nothing is red on the chart that you're looking at if you're watching us on the socials or ABC News and Talk, the video feed. They were up at 7% in February 2024. These are year-over-year numbers, seasonally adjusted, I might add. They're at 4.8 as of January. And according to Freddie Mac, that moderation should continue through the rest of the year. Quote, in 2025, we expect the pace of house price appreciation to moderate from the levels seen in 2024 while still maintaining a positive trajectory, unquote. Put simply, that means prices will continue going up in most areas, just not as quickly. That's good news for anyone who's been having trouble finding a home and feeling sticker shock from the rapid price appreciation of the past few years. But of course, what's happening with prices and inventory is going to vary by local market. So talk to your agent to find out what's happening where you live. And again, go and grab the report. It's free, rsrlinks.com/market report. Your zip code is what you put in to find out what's going on in your market. Bottom line, don't let the talk scare you. Experts agree that a housing market crash is unlikely in 2025. As Business Insider reports, quote, economists who study housing market conditions generally do not expect a crash in 2025 or beyond unless the economic outlook changes, unquote. Instead, we're heading into a housing market that's healthier and more balanced with slower price growth and more opportunity. Let's chat about what's happening in our local market and how you can make the most of it. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.